So remember that whole knee thing? Let's go. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's another one of those things that I do sometimes. Yeah, my voice is going this time. Probably because this is the second attempt at this. I recorded about 20 minutes and didn't like it, so scrapped that, and I'm on to number 2. So yeah, last week I said something about my knee being busted and not being able to work and doctors and all that. So figured out what it was on this past Thursday. I partially dislocated it. The tibia, or whatever, that bottom... The bottom half of my knee joint was twisted about 3 or 4 millimeters to the left. So, partial dislocation, tore some cartilage, and yeah, that's about it. No time off work because I'm part-time, so gotta still work while it heals up. I love the U.S. medical system, and so I'm not gonna go on another rant about that. But yeah, so I have to go to work with that in just a couple hours, so I'm going to try to get this done and get some of the Hunted recorded, because I had a bunch recorded before and my microphone is falling apart, and it decided halfway through that it was just going to not pick up sound, and I wasn't watching the waveform because I was reading the damn story. And yeah, so I lost about 2 hours worth of stuff, and it was on almost perfect 2 hours, only screwed up like 5 times the whole time, which was amazing, and it would have been like 4 episodes worth of audio, and I'm so upset I lost it, but I'm just gonna have to keep going and re-record it all. That's what doing this independent and solo is. So yeah, that'll be out again this upcoming Friday. I'm gonna move it to being bi-monthly because the weekly thing just isn't gonna work. So it's just gonna be bi-monthly. I'm just gonna go and every other Friday have an episode, and I'm gonna try shoot for a half hour or so each one, so an hour a month. Might try to push it more to every week once I can start getting things rolling, but right now Dead is consuming a lot of my time and prepping for that to go up and trying to get the Patreon ready and hoping to God anybody even sees it, and also my knee and stressing about rent and all that stuff. I mean, I'm just too busy to keep up with everything at once by myself. And since Max does not have a even halfway decent microphone, I have to do it myself right now. That's the next thing I'm gonna do, is buy new microphones for both them and I, because mine is literally glued together with hot glue, and they just have their internal mic from their MacBook Pro. So we both need better mics so we can do this, which is going to be one of the first things I buy if the Patreon actually works out and I can get more than like $10 or whatever, or $1. I don't know. First stuff that's going to get upgraded if this works out is there's audio equipment, and then next will be a new computer, because my laptop decided that it's going to just start randomly closing now. I'm kind of worried it's going to just shut down in the middle of all this. It did it, and I'm watching the audio form, and it's shuddering and lagging and stuff. God, this thing is so old. I need a new one. So I guess I'll just talk about the Patreon, like actually talk about it and talk about Dead and those things, because last time I went on a rant about how disappointing Rooster Teeth is lately, and I'll do that some other time because that's not going to change anytime soon. But Dead is essentially set in a world like ours, just Earth, New York. It's actually set in New Jersey. It starts off in New Jersey. It'll travel everywhere. But the main and pretty much only difference in between our world and theirs is that monsters and stuff are real. The things that go bump in the night are commonplace. And it's not like, oh, well, yeah, only a few certain people know about these things. You can be that person who's like, oh, well, honey, there's a nest of vampires over next door in the attic, and in the Johnson's attic I just saw a vampire. We better call the exterminator and make sure they're okay and stuff. People don't go into the woods because werewolves exist. They don't screw around with stuff like that. They don't screw around because the chupacabra might get them, or the Jersey Devil, or a vampire, and the world has like strict policies about undead and viruses that could cause zombie outbreaks and stuff. Like, this is a world that understands that these things exist. They cannot get rid of them completely, but they have companies that are just like roach exterminators, where they're people who come in geared up to kill a monster or whatever, and they dispose of the body and hand you a bill. And that's where we start off with two characters, Julia and Victoria. They are exterminators, and they do this for a living. They kill monsters, and that's their job. And things will only get better from there. I'm not going to say why it's called Dead. That will be very apparent very quickly within part 1, which is, I think, 22 pages, and we've gotten... I'm personally working on page 7, and I believe Max is working on page 8 right now, so we're about halfway done with chapter 1, or verse 1 of chapter 1. Chapter 1 will be, I think, 5 or 6 verses, so maybe up to 100 pages, 120 pages maybe, and then we'll move on to chapter 2 and so on. And we've got stuff planned out, entire arcs planned out through 16 chapters, I think, and then just random monsters and stuff that we're researching or designing or whatever for other things that can we could make this comic last a very, very long time and not seem too repetitive. That's gonna be the fun part. And hey, we already have a plan if it starts getting same old to mix things up again. We have plans for these, and so it's been 4 years in the making, and it took me finding Max to actually get it started and working. But yeah, it's a thing that's happening, and I'm really kind of excited, and I'm terrified too, because Friday is the day that everything starts. Friday's the day that, and I'm not expecting all of this to start off all at once, but Friday's also the day, besides starting Dead, that we're starting the Patreon, and this is going to be the start of it right here. I want to do this for a living, and I want to get better at it, and I want proper equipment for it, and I can't work full-time at Home Depot, which they offered me full-time, but I can't do that and still do this at the same time, because I will not have enough time in the day. If I'm working 10 hours and there's an hour of travel time and I sleep 6 hours, that leaves 6 hours total for me to eat, exist, and do things outside of work. Or, yeah, that leaves me 6 hours or 8 hours to exist and do things outside of work and eat and take care of bills and exist as a human being. And that's 10 hours is kind when you are a full-timer doing that. The few weeks that, I had the hiccups, great. The few weeks that I was able to work actually 40 hours a week were more like 50 to 60 hours a week, because, well, they don't have a team that can support 40 hours a week. They have a team that can support the 5 or 6 people working 60 hours a week, because they get too much stuff in and they don't have enough people to work it. So we come in 2 hours early. Like, my normal time getting out would be 6 o'clock, and my normal time going in would be 10 p.m. And, or I'd go in at 10, get off at 6 in the morning. And, no, it's usually 8 to 7 or 8 to 8 if you're working full time and you're working freight. And there's just no way I could do that and still sleep a healthy amount for work, because it's as my partially dislocated knee and 4 other broken bones over the last year and a half working for Home Depot in 2 different states show. It's not a very safe job. Like, you're working, especially with my stuff, I work flooring, and it's 50, 60 pound boxes of tile, or 100 pound cases of tables, and like 40 pound cases of blinds and stuff, and things falling, and it's not the safest environment to work in, and getting enough rest to where you're not going to put yourself or somebody else in danger is extremely important. So working 10, 11, 12 hours and sleeping only 6 is not healthy. Or working 10, 11, 12 hours and sleeping 8 but having no time to do anything else is going to make it so I can't do the things I want to do with my life, and I'm going to be stuck in this crap job forever. So that's why I want to do this Patreon. That's why I'm hoping to God people enjoy the things that I make. And I know nobody right now listens to The Hunted, and I need to start pushing it more and asking people to share it, and I need to do that stuff, and I'm going to. And I'm going to do the same thing with Dead. I mean, that's going to be every week, and we're going to do our damnedest to keep up with that schedule. And it's going to be it's going to be a thing. It's going to be a thing. But we're hoping that people enjoy it enough to maybe kick $1 or $2 a month our way, just to help out with making it better. I mean, I'm not expecting anything immediately, but hopefully someday people will enjoy it enough to where this could be maybe not a full living, but at least pay for itself. That would be awesome. So anybody listening, help out, please. Like, if you enjoy the stuff that I make, or that Max makes, or anything else, like, even if you don't do anything with the Patreon, maybe share it. Show the stuff, show the site to people, show Dead to people, show The Hunted to people, show this dumb podcast to people. Show the Patreon to people. It's going to be really easy. Patreon.com/SSP. I'll even make a bit.ly link, so it's bit.ly/SS or PSSP or whatever, SSPP, or I don't know. I'll figure that out. But I really want to do this, and I'm determined to do it. And even if it takes the next 20 years, I'm going to fucking do it. So help or whatever. Outside of that, there's not really a ton, besides my knee needing to be iced down right now, and it's hurting and twitching. I don't know. I'm excited for Friday, and I'm excited to see what all can be done. Yeah. That's it for now. I'm gonna go try to write it. Oh, the game reviews. That's the other thing I was gonna talk about. They are going to start up again this Thursday. I just have not had enough time to play any video games at all. I want to start a series of doing something else with it, besides just the just besides just the reviews of stuff. I do have a couple that I'm going to do. One of them's called Kill the Bad Guy, which is an interesting little game, puzzle game. I'll write more about it, but quick review is it's funny, kind of. It's interesting because there's a bunch of different ways you can kill them and challenges and stuff like that. It's a puzzle game. As Jerry Holkins once coined, the murder puzzle genre, which pretty much the only other game I could think of that is in that is Hitman. So, but it's not at all like the Hitman games. I'll take screenshots and stuff. And then Warframe, I'm still trying to write that review, but man, they just update 14 killed it for me. So I'm gonna have to pretty much relearn everything, take new screenshots of everything I had taken before because they changed all the interface and stuff. And the interface annoys me most. So that's going to be a huge part of my review of Warframe on Thursday is going to be how much that interface pisses me off. But I do want to try to do something else for the site. I can't do anything video related because my laptop just cannot record gameplay. But I would like to do some type of series for a game. I don't know. I'll have to think of something. But yeah. Check out. It's starting up actually the same day as Dead. My friends Ariel and Quincy, they are starting up a gaming channel, and they're trying to make it like a conglomerative thing where a bunch of people are submitting gameplay videos and stuff like that for it, and it gets posted over the course of a couple weeks, and they just keep doing that, and while my computer's going to explode. They are starting it up on the 1st, I believe it is. And I'm hopefully going to be able to interview them about it this week, so an extra percentages will go up. Besides that, I got nothing else, so I'm going to go back to trying to think of what to do for the site and try to figure out how I can get people to like the stuff that we make and hopefully continue making it. Goodbye. Gabby out.